I love to play with new making products. Do you too? In this video, I am sharing 16 cards I made with a product I just recently discovered, although it has been around for quite some time. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Heshik, and the new product that I'm talking about is Gilders Paste Wax. I took a class recently where the class kit included 3 colors of the Gilders Paste Wax, and we learned the basics on how to use this product on paper. I ordered 4 more colors, and here are some of my favorites of the ones I have. So the bronze is what I made this card with, and I think it's maybe number 1, but it's definitely one of my favorites. I also am loving the German silver. That's a very unique way, silver. And then there's an African bronze and the pinotage, which is a red. And I thought I had I also like the blue. There's a real pretty blue that I like as well. But all of them are pretty. I tried other waxes before and was disappointed in the limited color selection, but Gilders has 28 colors, including 16 metallics. Now I'm using Tim Holtz's Distress tools to apply these, and what I did was I have little and bigger of the sponges, and I just put a piece of the Velcro to attach the ones that I use with, for example, this is the pinotage. So those sponges are attached and ready for me to use them. And here are a bunch of cards that I have made. This is one of the first cards I made. I just love this background. It is all of these are 3D embossing folders with the Gilders wax right on top. And in this case, I even used the Gilders wax on the embellishments. They were plain wood, and I made them that pretty blue. It's patina. That's the color I was trying to think of. The blue is patina. Here's another one of my favorites that I made. Just look at that beautifully embossed background. And all I did was add a die cut to it, raise the flowers up a little bit, and what a gorgeous, easy, fast card I have. I'm holding off on putting sentiments on most of the cards you'll see today. I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for. And of course, all the details on each of the cards I share will be on my blog, and linked in the description box will be links to the blog post and the products featured. Here's another favorite. The copper and the bronze are amongst my favorite. This is a very simple masculine card with another 3D Sizzix embossing folder. I made it into a thanks card. Very, very quick and easy, but really, really great for some guy that I might know. Here's another one with the blue embossing, the Gilders Paste Wax on a 3D embossing folder with another die cut just to highlight one of the flowers. And here's another one that I made with a die cut and more of the Gilders Paste Wax on a 3D embossing folder. Another way to use the Gilders Paste Wax is through a stencil, as I did on my next 2 examples. I made debossed backgrounds for some texture, and then I put the paste wax right through a stencil. I found they're easy to clean up, as is our hands, with Fast Orange hand soap, and I learned that in the class I took with Bill the Gilder at Crafter's Classroom. And I bought some, and it does work very well, whereas some I've tried in the past, I basically ruined the stencil. So this is the gold through a stencil with some more doodads. All of these doodads I call them that. Embellishments were colored with the Gilders Paste Wax, including this one that has some 3D to it. I don't have a lot of doodads or embellishments for my cards, but I did hear that in the future Bill the Gilder is going to have 2 more classes with the wax, including one on 3D projects, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to take that just to experiment on what does this work besides on paper. And when I play, I make a bunch of backgrounds, and some of them I just don't like, and to be honest, I did not like this, the gold on the orange background. Nothing wrong with it was an Altenew embossing folder. I just didn't really like the look, so I decided to double emboss it. I thought, it's just paper, right? So I embossed it again with a Simon Says Stamp 3D embossing folder, and then I added some of the red Gilders Wax on that. And so I ended up with a card that I really, really like. Here's another one. Background didn't thrill me too much, but I decided to put a Tim Holtz Sizzix die. It's the plaid die right on top, and I used 2 different colors of the Gilders Paste Wax on here. So you can see some of this is a little darker and some of it's a little lighter, and I really like that. Now I'll probably put a sentiment on there, and another card that it went from a pretty epic fail to a really pretty card. And here's one last example. Again, wasn't really liking the orangish, which I think is I forget what color, rust. It was rust on blue with a embossing folder. So I just cut it out with a leaves background, which of course flattened it, but you still have that embossed pattern in there, and you still have that change of colors, and all of a sudden I have a card I really like, which is, you know, so don't throw them away, or if it's really bad, you know, toss them. That's, you know, it's just paper and a little bit of time. Right? And have a play. That's what I like to do, is just have a play with them. One simple way to use the Gilders Wax on paper that I learned in the Stamplistic class was to spritz a piece of cardstock with a lot of water and then wrinkle it and wrinkle it again, and then when it's dry, add some Gilders paste on top of the wrinkles for a really cool look. And that's what I did on this one. And I even used my distressing tool to distress the edges. When you do this, you're not going to end up with something that's really straight. At least I don't generally. But I'm going to share how I did one of these. But in this case, again, a cool, very textured background with some stitched fernery, and a this was again colored with that red Pinotage Gilders Wax. Here's another one that I made, and in this case I added an extra step. So can you see that? It was all wrinkled, and then it was also embossed, and I'm going to demo how I did that. So I have a piece of navy cardstock that I had spritzed with a lot of water, wrinkle it up several times, and then let it dry. And after it was dry, I've put it onto another piece of cardstock with 2-sided sticky tape paper over the whole thing. So that holds it down pretty good. Okay, then what I'm going to do is take this is a Lisa Horton Botanical Fern 3D embossing folder, and I am going to run it through my die cut machine. So now it's going to be a little flatter, but it still has some of those wrinkles in there. And then I am going to add some bronze Gilders Wax and just highlight some of that embossing and wrinkling. I think that maybe in letting this sit an extra day, I lost some of those wrinkles. But this is still very, very pretty. On here, I still had quite a few of the wrinkles, and I had that embossing, which I guess is probably because, again, I left this sit maybe too long, and some of those wrinkles just got flattened with the, or maybe I used an extra piece of paper in my die cutting machine. But anyway, experiment. This one was fun. I liked the fact that I had the embossing and the texture of the paper in that background. One of my favorite things to do with this paste and 3D embossing folders is to use two different colors on a card front. So here's one I did with the patina and the bronze, no, I guess it's the copper, on a favorite embossing folder. So I put the copper all over it, and then I added the patina just to highlight a few of these. They're kind of gears, but this isn't the Sizzix gears. It is another Sizzix embossing folder. I'll make a note of that on my, unless I got it here. Nope, on my blog post. And then I even had the copper and the embossing behind the sentiment, thinking of you. Here's another one that I did with two different colors. This is the bronze on the top, and the embossing folder is on top and also in the white. And then I have the German silver on a different embossing folder for the vase on this one. And this card, I'm going to use this sketch, but make it with some different embossing folders. So what I did was I cut two pieces of cardstock, one black and one white, and I embossed both with the Organic Petals 3D embossing folder from Sizzix. And then I used a template. I laid them together, and I used this template and marked on the back and cut both of them at the same time. So I have, they line up between the two embossing folders, and the black is what I'm going to put some of that Gilders Paste Wax on. So I'm going to again use bronze. I like to use a piece of paper to hold it down so my fingerprints don't get on, especially after I turn it. And it's that easy to apply. I just take a little bit of the paste and again, using my distress tool and a sponge that's dedicated only to this color, I add the Gilders Paste Wax to the embossed areas, the raised areas. After that's done, you can hit it with a heat gun, or you can let it sit for a while, which I have done here. And then you're going to take an old cloth, a t-shirt or something, and you're going to buff it. And in doing so, it brightens it up and makes it really smooth and pretty. So the gold is on the petals, and it is very, very pretty after being buffed. I call it gold, but it's really bronze. But it's a very pretty bronze, and it kind of looks gold to me. Now I'm going to use copper, another one of my favorite colors, on this Sizzix little oval frame. See how that makes that really so pretty? Looks like an old-fashioned mirror frame, or so pretty. So once again, I did this in advance, and I could hit it with a heat gun, but you don't need to listen to that. So I've just let that sit for a while, and then I'm going to buff it with an old t-shirt just to bring out that shine. See, I need to clean my work surface. But there we have a beautiful copper circular frame. So I am going to tape these two pieces together with just regular tape. If I just take this piece and line it up next to that piece, put on a little more tape just to hold that securely. And then I'm going to glue that onto my card front. When you have all that texture, it's really best to use a liquid glue to get that to stick well. And my fold of my card is on the left, so I want to make absolutely certain that that is covered. If the rest of it isn't perfect, I can always trim it off. I'll let that sit for a while and work on this piece here. I am going to make this into a shaker. So I have taken some of this good red liner strong tape and put it on the back of this, and I'll remove the cover of that. And I have some ovals that I cut out of acetate, and I'm just using a little dryer sheet to take off any pieces of what might have stuck to that. And our acetate is on there now. And then I'm going to take some adhesive foam strips, which are my favorite to make shakers with, because all you need to do is, even oval ones, if you start it here and you just start going around the edge, folding it as, turning it as you go. Making sure there are no openings. That any beads or sequins or anything can come out of. Then I'm going to take my EK Success powder tool and add a little powder to the outsides there, just so nothing sticks. And I have in here a combination of some sequins and beads. The sequins and other doodads in here are from This Calls for Confetti, and it's a collection that's called Nancy Loves the Beach. And I just really like the aqua colors in there and that really fun mix of different sizes. And I have more than what I need here probably, but hopefully I can start with that. And what I really like to add to my shakers are little tiny beads that really move, and they also move the sequins with them. So I'm going to add a few more beads here. And then we will remove the covering here. Carefully. And then take another oval acetate piece. That's not what I wanted to clean it with. A little dryer sheet, just to make sure nothing's going to stick. And then I'm going to seal this, hopefully. And there we have a very, very beautiful shaker with all those different beads. And I am going to attach this with some more of this skinny orange tape. Around the edge. Get the cover off, which is sometimes the hardest thing to do. And then I'm going to attach this one partially on the white and partially on the black embossed. And we have a shaker that has the beautiful black with the wax paste and the white pattern continuing, and then more of that bronze on that beautiful frame. I thought the debossed side of this was very pretty and too pretty to toss. So what I decided to do was make one with the debossed bottom and the debossed top, and then I made another frame, shaker frame, with the brass for the top of that card. I had so much fun playing with and creating cards with Gilders Paste Wax, and I hope my many cards encourage you to give some of these ideas and products a try. After you do, send your cards out into the world or give them away to spread the joy. Watch the next video for some more card making ideas and techniques, and have a crafty, joyful week.